We didn't wake up that morning thinking anything bad was going to happen. That's the part that messes with me the most now. It wasn't a last-minute plan or something reckless. We'd talked about the hike for days, checked the weather, picked a trail, Grayson Highlands Loop in southern Appalachians. That was supposed to be straightforward, popular enough that you didn't worry about being completely alone. It was just me and my friend Josh. We'd known each other since college and had done a bunch of hikes together before. Nothing extreme, but enough that we trusted ourselves. We both thought we knew what we were doing, and honestly, that confidence felt earned at the time. The trailhead was busy when we got there. A few cars in the lot, people adjusting backpacks, dogs barking. That helped. It made the whole thing feel normal and safe. We joked about how crowded it was going to get later in the day and how we'd picked the perfect time to start early. The first part of the hike was easy. Clear trail, obvious markers, the kind of path where you don't even think about navigation because it's doing the work for you. We talked about random stuff, work, people we knew, nothing important. I wasn't paying attention to the woods at all, and that feels important now. After a while, the trail started to thin out. Fewer people passed us. That didn't bother us. We actually liked that part. It felt quieter, less rushed. The woods were still bright, sunlight coming through the trees, birds moving around. Everything felt alive and normal. I don't remember the exact moment things shifted. There wasn't a clear line where it went from fine to wrong. It was more like a slow change that only made sense later. The first thing I really noticed was how tired my legs felt. Not sore, just heavy. Like I'd been walking longer than I actually had. I checked the time on my phone and felt confused because it didn't match how my body felt. Josh noticed too and joked about it. Said, maybe we'd both underestimated how out of shape we were. We laughed and kept going. Not long after that, we hit a fork in the trail. That's when we stopped for real. Josh pulled out his phone and opened the map he'd downloaded. He stared at it longer than I expected. Zoomed in, zoomed out, frowned a little. He said the fork wasn't on the map. That should have scared me more than it did. Instead, I immediately started explaining it away in my head. Trails change, trees fall, maps get outdated. All of that made sense if you wanted it to. Neither path looked more worn than the other. Neither looked wrong. We stood there for a while, then picked one without much discussion. I don't even remember why we chose that direction. After that, the hike stopped feeling relaxed. The trail narrowed, enough that we had to walk single file. The markers were still there, just farther apart. I remember thinking it felt quiet, like empty. No voices, no distant noise, no signs of anyone ahead or behind us. We kept walking, telling ourselves the loop probably just went farther than expected. But after a while, I started feeling like we should have seen something familiar by then. A bend we'd remembered, a marker that stood out, anything. Josh stopped again and checked the map. This time, he didn't joke. He just stared at the screen, then at the trail ahead of us, then back the way we'd come. I asked what was wrong. He said, I think we should have been back near the fork by now. That sentence hit harder than I expected. It felt like the ground shifted under me, even though nothing had actually changed. We decided to turn around. The moment we did, something felt off. The trail behind us didn't look the way I remembered it. I couldn't explain how. It just didn't match the picture in my head. I told myself that was stress talking, that once you start worrying, everything feels unfamiliar. But the feeling didn't go away. We walked for a long time without seeing anything that clearly said we were heading the right way. Every stretch of trail started looking the same. Same trees, same rocks, same slope. I tried to remember specific details from earlier, but nothing stood out anymore. Josh slowed down. I could tell he was thinking hard, and that scared me more than if he'd been panicking. He was always the confident one, the one who usually knew what to do. I asked him if he knew where we were. He didn't answer right away. When he finally did, he said, "I'm not sure anymore." That was when the fear really set in. Not panic, not the kind you see in movies, just this heavy feeling in my chest, like something had dropped inside me. I realized I'd been assuming he knew what he was doing the whole time. Hearing that he didn't made everything feel unstable all at once. We kept walking because stopping felt worse. Standing still made my thoughts spiral. Every step felt heavier. My mouth was dry. My shoulders ached. I became very aware of how much water we had left and how fast we were going through it. We stopped talking because every sentence felt like it might make things worse. At one point, Josh said quietly that he thought we were walking in circles. I looked around and felt sick. Nothing looked familiar, but nothing looked new either. It all blended together in the worst way. I realized that if we turned around again, I wouldn't be able to tell which direction we'd come from. That thought scared me more than being lost. I started thinking about how easy it would be to make a bad decision if we got too tired. How one wrong turn could push us farther away instead of closer. That idea stuck in my head and wouldn't leave. My hands were shaking. I noticed it and felt annoyed with myself. Like fear was something I should be able to control if I tried harder. We kept moving, slow, steady, trying not to rush, because rushing felt dangerous too. Time stopped making sense. It felt like hours had passed. Then, like no time at all. I stopped checking my phone because it only made me feel worse. Then, without warning, the trees started to thin. At first, I didn't trust it. I thought it was another trick of perspective, another moment where hope would disappear as soon as we got closer. But the trail widened, the ground leveled out, and ahead of us, through the branches, I saw gravel. We didn't run. We didn't talk. We just walked faster, not believing it until we stepped out of the woods and into the parking lot. My legs felt weak, like they'd been holding me up on something temporary. We stood there for a moment without saying anything, just breathing, letting it sink in that we were out. On the drive home, neither of us talked much. The relief was quiet and heavy. What still stays with me isn't how close we came to something worse. It's how normal everything felt until it didn't. How easy it was to ignore that feeling, telling us something was wrong, because nothing bad had happened yet. That hike didn't end badly, but it changed how I think about being lost, and how quickly confidence can disappear when the trail stops making sense. Thanks for watching No Sleep Tonight, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It truly helps this channel grow. And if you want more unsettling stories, there are 2 more waiting for you on the screen right now. I'll see you in the next video. And until then, sleep well.